Hello and good morning, everyone. My name is Sharice Johnson Moore, and how is everyone doing today? Welcome to Authors Excerpt Sunday podcast, where my special guest is Mr. John David Graham, and the title of his book is Running as Fast as I Can. So, hello, Mr. John David Graham. How are you doing today?
I think it's Friday, Cherie, so I think I'm okay.
Okay,
It is
okay.
Friday, isn't it?
Yes, sir, it is. It is Friday.
Thank you. Yeah.
Yes. So, Mr. John David Graham, would you like to tell the audience about yourself?
Well, it's a rather convoluted story. Uh, I was raised in the mill suburbs, mill slums of Pittsburgh, and that was when you could make a living at the mill, but it was a working class living.
Mhm.
And I got out when I was 18 because I didn't want to spend my life in the mill, but didn't know what I wanted to do. So I spent the next probably 30 years going from one job to another to another to another.
Mhm.
And it wasn't until I was 53 years old, when a lot of people were talking about retirement, that I found my niche. And
Mhm.
I ended up working with offering temporary housing, a shelter to
Mhm.
men and women coming from prison. And
Mhm.
we've been doing that in Ohio for the past 23 years.
Mhm.
And we have helped, my staff and I have helped almost 2,500 men and women restart their lives. So
Mhm.
I feel like it took me a long time to find my place.
Mhm.
And I have a feeling that a lot of people I meet, especially my residents, they're just looking for a second chance. And that's what we offer because I was offered several second chances.
Mhm.
And that's what my book is about, really. It's about second chances.
Okay. All right. So, where did you come up with this? You come up with the title of your book.
I was 20, give or take 22, 23 years old. And I was living in a truck because I was homeless at the time. And I wanted to write a book. So I sat down on a Royal typewriter. Now, your listeners may not know what a Royal typewriter is, but think of it like a computer without a plug, without
Mhm.
electricity.
Mhm.
You had to actually use your fingers. So I started to write, and I said, I don't know what to write. I don't know what to say. So I stopped writing and just started writing notes to myself over the next 30 years.
Mhm.
And then 10 years ago, I sat down to just to fictionalize my journey in the form of Daniel Robinson because I wanted to share what I felt to be my struggles. It's not about me, it's not a memoir, but
Mhm.
it's fictionalized and it comprises what I've learned from all the people I deal with.
Mhm.
And the idea is I call it everyone's story because how many of us have said, if I could just start this over again,
Mhm.
if I wish I hadn't done this or that. Well, that's what Daniel Robinson's story about is that he was born behind in poverty and abuse and neglect. In fact, what he said at one point was, I shared space with people called family. We
Mhm.
had the same address, ate at the same table, and even had the same last name,
Mhm.
but we were strangers. We all lived alone together.
Mhm.
I think many people can identify with that sort of family where, particularly in this electronic age where you can disappear behind the television or your computer,
Mhm.
many people are feeling overwhelmingly alone and lonely. And Daniel's story is about how do I overcome my background? How do I change my life?
Yes.
How can I be different?
Mhm.
And that's where the idea came of running as fast as I can. I feel like I'm behind, but I'm running as fast as I can. This is the best I can do.
Mhm.
I can't be that football hero. I can't be that handsome movie star,
Mhm.
but I can be the, like Dr. King said, I can be the best street sweeper on
Mhm.
this corner, and I
Mhm.
can clean this street to the best of my ability.
Yes.
That's my goal.
Oh, okay. So, have you experienced any writer's block while writing your book?
Writer's constipation is a better term. Yeah. What happened was all these years I kept writing my journal notes, just my thoughts. I just wrote my
Mm-hmm.
thoughts.
Mm-hmm.
Ended up with 4,000 pages of notes. Now I
Oh.
didn't use those, but it allowed me the process of getting thoughts out.
Mm-hmm.
And um, what I ended up rewriting this story. The first draft took 2 years, give or take.
Mm-hmm.
But to get to what I call a finished draft took 7 years and 24 rewrites.
Okay.
And it was much, much different and much more nuanced than my original draft because I brought in a professional editor
Mm-hmm.
and I was trained as a journalist. I was trained as an academic researcher. So
Mm-hmm.
I put the facts out there and it was a very boring story.
Oh,
He taught me how to put the emotions out there
okay.
so that readers could feel that. And that took me 2 more years of writing. So it took 10 years to write this story.
Okay.
So writer's block, yes, I was blocked every draft and publishing it, there were 200 rejections.
Oh, okay.
And with every rejection, I went back to the drawing board and rewrote and re-edited until I had what I felt to be the story I always wanted.
Oh, okay. So how was that process? That process for you? So did you go through traditional publishing or self publishing?
Well, I tried to find an agent because I wanted to do it traditionally. Because right now anybody can just go print a book,
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
and uh, compared to writing,
Mm-hmm.
publishing is 10 times harder
Mm-hmm.
because there are a million books written every year, and they're put out there in some form every year, and
Yeah.
there's just a flood of books to choose from. And
Mm-hmm.
why would people choose my book? So, what I did was, after all these rejections, I finally ended up forming my own publishing company called Don Quixote Press. So, it's a legitimate independent publisher.
Mm-hmm.
And then I hired a publicist
Mm-hmm.
to help me market that because she knows all these things that I don't know.
Yes.
Even the fact that I'm here today, she helped introduce me to the world of podcasting.
Oh, okay. All right.
We writers tend to be introverts, and
Yes.
publishers require extroversion.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm here today as a result of what I'm trying to learn to do.
Mm-hmm.
So see, it's called it's a independent publisher. I could publish other books, but right now I'm working on this one.
Mm-hmm.
Uh, and it is much harder to publish than it is to write because there are many very good books out there that nobody knows about, and
Mm-hmm.
there are bad books that are bestsellers
Mm-hmm.
simply because they're advertised well.
Yes.
So what I found though is word of mouth. I've had some very positive reviews. We've sold about 6 or 7 thousand copies, which I think is statistically is quite good.
Mm-hmm.
And the feedback has been extremely positive, where people have said, "I felt Daniel Robinson," or
Yes.
"I feel like I lived his journey."
Mm-hmm.
That was my goal.
Okay. All right. So you ready to read an excerpt out of your book for us?
Well, let me find something here. Uh, Out of 166,000 words, let's see here. Okay. Let me give you some background. Daniel, at this point, is 12 years old, and he wanted to build a model airplane to impress his father. And he wanted to show it off to him. And he saved for 3 months on his paper route to get the $10 that it took to buy this very special model airplane of a
Mm-hmm.
World War II flying Tiger uh, jet fighter, or not a fighter plane from.
Mm-hmm.
And he thought, well, maybe my dad was in the war, so he can identify with that. But
Yeah.
his dad was an alcoholic, and his dad had very little time for anyone in the family, especially Daniel. So
Mm-hmm.
Daniel worked for 3 months on this, slaved over it, did all the details and put it together, even painted it to match the colors of the original plane. And
Mm-hmm.
here's what happened when he brought it into his father.
Mm-hmm.
And he held it up to him. He held this 3 months of work.
Mm-hmm.
I wanted my father to say something about my plane. Nice job. Looks like it was hard to build. I'm really proud of you, son. But he didn't say anything while I stood in front of him, anxiously holding up my airplane like some sort of offering to the gods.
Mm-hmm.
Want to see how the motor works? Maybe he'll like that. After what seemed like forever, he slammed his bottle on the table, gave me that irritated look I saw so many times, and shouted, "You're blocking the fucking game." He didn't hit me, not like he sometimes did, but I felt my lip tremble and my eyes burn wet with tears like he just punched me hard in the stomach. I quickly turned away and wiped my face. Without saying another word, I walked out of the room, went straight to the backyard, and set my new airplane on the ground, filled the tank with fuel, and flicked the propeller several times until the motor screamed to life. Grabbing my father's Zippo lighter from my pocket, I flipped open the lid, hit the striker twice to get a steady flame, and held it under the tail until the oil paint on the skin ignited. Then I launched my wonderful new plane into the air. For a few wonderful seconds, my special P-40 Tomahawk fighter with all those authentic decals flew up and up, just like I always imagined. But when the flames engulfed the wings, it suddenly veered sharply to the right, then down and down in a death spiral until it crashed to the ground. I wanted to cry again as the acrid smoke from my beautiful burning plane drifted toward me. But this time I didn't shed a single tear. I never built another model airplane. And that, I believe, sums up Daniel's family life.
Mm-hmm. Okay. So, on this journey as an author, have you gained a lot of insight into what authorship is and what it's like for you?
It's funny you should say that because just this last week, I saw an advertisement that a movie was being filmed. I'm in San Antonio right now, and a
Mm-hmm.
movie was being filmed here, and they're looking for extras to walk onto the set and just be part of the background. So I signed up, and they hired me.
Oh,
So now I can officially say that I'm an actor.
okay.
But here's the thing: I've been thinking about this a lot.
Mm-hmm.
That I don't do anything. They just dress me up, and I
Mm-hmm.
walk out. Actually, in this scene, I'm going to be riding on a train. It's Harrison Ford's television series he's doing.
Oh.
Yeah, 1923 is that Yellowstone spinoff.
Oh, okay. Okay. Okay.
Yeah, so it's a big deal.
Yes.
But my part is a very small deal. I'm a
Mm-hmm.
can of soup on the grocery shelf, basically.
Okay.
But here's the thing: my I'm not going to Hollywood, I guarantee you. But I just did it as a lark, just to
Mm.
have fun.
Yeah.
But one thing I learned is that my as an artist, if I wanted to be an actor, I could only express myself if somebody hired me, and I could only do what they told me to do.
Mm-hmm.
So for a few minutes next Friday,
Mm-hmm.
I'm going to look like a man riding a train in Bozeman, Montana, in 1923. Now,
Okay.
I'm not going to say anything. I'm not going to do anything. I'm just going to be part of the train riders.
Mm-hmm.
Now, I have no control over that. And if they ask me to stand up and spin around like a top, that would be my part.
Okay.
So that
Mm.
doesn't take much creativity. But
Yeah.
as a writer,
Mm-hmm.
I can control my craft.
Yes.
I wrote the entire book for 10 years.
Mm-hmm.
Even when it was rejected, I could still write it.
Yeah.
So I feel that writing for me is much healthier because no matter who rejects it,
Mm-hmm.
you can still write your product. You can still do your art.
Mm-hmm.
So I
Yes.
did my very best and I got it out. But as an actor, if
Mm-hmm.
nobody hires me,
Mm-hmm.
then I can't do it. So that to me is more frustrating.
Oh, okay. Okay.
So I'm not going to be an actor. Thank you, though.
All right, now I'll be looking for you. I'll be looking. I'll be looking in the scene because I watch everything Harrison Ford makes. You're welcome. You're welcome. Seems like
Looks
our
like
internet wants to act up today. Yeah, so, yeah,
There,
like,
hey, we're back again.
yeah, we're back. We back. That's how the internet does sometimes. It just does its own thing sometimes. But
Oh yeah, tell
we
me
got
about
it.
it.
So what advice would you give to an aspiring author?
Um, I would say it just tell your story, but be prepared that what you get the first draft is not the final draft.
Mm-hmm.
The first draft will be just your outline basically, and
Mm-hmm.
you may love it. You may think that you're the best writer in the world,
Mm-hmm.
but it's only a draft.
Yes.
And I would recommend highly hiring an editor. There's what we call beta groups, where you get somebody to read it,
Mm-hmm.
and what they do is they just read through and give advice, and often it's your friends, and they lie. They tell you that you're the greatest thing since Hemingway, when actually you write like Pee Wee Herman.
Uh-oh.
So well, I would recommend get into a writers group, get
Mm-hmm.
feedback, but more important,
Mm-hmm.
when you feel you have your draft done,
Mm-hmm.
hire somebody to go through it, and then be prepared to change. Be prepared to edit,
Yes.
because the outsider can read it like a reader,
Mhm.
not like a writer, and that's important.
Yes. Okay. So, Mr. John, do you have any upcoming events, book signing events, things you want to tell us about?
Well, I'm hesitant with book signings because the last thing I want to do is sit in the back of a bookstore and have people walk by and ignore me, saying, "Who the hell is that guy?" Uh, what I want to do is exactly what we're doing today.
Mm-hmm.
Uh, I've gotten involved in podcasts because not only do I get to talk about my book, I get to talk about Good Samaritan Home, which is our nonprofit,
Mm-hmm.
where it's the basic philosophy behind the book of
Yeah.
helping other people.
Mm-hmm.
And so I've done about 9 or 10 podcasts this month, and I'm having a great time.
Okay.
And I think the word is not just about the book that I've written or the
Mm-hmm.
Good Samaritan Home, but the whole concept of
Yes.
second chances.
Mm-hmm.
That's what we're discussing. So
Okay.
I would encourage people to discover the wonderful world of podcasting.
Okay. Okay. So, anything else do you have up your sleeve for the month?
Well, the publishing is a very, very time consuming project. I thought it'd be simple. You just
Mm-hmm.
put your book out there on Amazon, but
Mm-hmm.
yeah, I've been working on it for since December, virtually full time,
Mm-hmm.
and I'm full time with Good Samaritan Home,
Mm-hmm.
and I'm now probably half time with podcasting,
Okay.
and I end up traveling between Ohio and Texas every 2 weeks. So
Mm-hmm.
I feel like I have to ask myself, what day is this, and who am I?
Okay. You're
I
that busy,
started.
huh?
I did start a sequel, but I had to put it on the shelf because I
Mhm.
just don't have the time right now.
Okay, okay. I know how that is because I got a lot of irons in the fire myself. So I totally understand what you're saying. I get it. And so where can our readers, our enthusiastic audience find your book?
It's actually quite easy. The simplest way is to you go to Amazon and type in "running as fast as I can," and
Mhm.
it'll pop up. For
Mhm.
some reason, they've got me obviously linked in with a lot of jogging books, but
Oh,
those
okay.
aren't me. I
Okay.
don't jog.
Uh-huh.
But another one is my website is simply johndavidgraham.com,
Mhm.
and that'll link to the Amazon page. And
Okay.
it's ebook format, it's print, it's hardcover, and it's soon to be audiobook.
Oh,
So
okay.
so
Okay.
it's
So
available. I've been working on that. I'm not doing the actual voice acting, but uh,
okay.
I'm editing the audiobook, and
Okay.
it'll be probably the end of the month.
Okay. All right. Well, thank you, Mr. John, for coming out today for Authors Extra Sunday podcast. And I want to say I wish you all the best with your book. And I really love the storyline. And I will be purchasing your book soon. Okay.
I appreciate that, but I just tell your friends that it's a page turner.
Okay.
What I hear people say is, "I couldn't stop reading," and that's what I like to hear.
Okay.
So, and you're welcome to feedback, give me your thoughts, because I feel if I can help somebody with this story like I've been helped writing it, then
Mhm.
my day is worthwhile.
Okay. Okay. Thank you, Mr. John, so much for coming today. And I want you to have a blessed day, okay?
Thank you. Sharice, you've made my day. Thank you so much.
You're welcome. You're welcome. You're welcome. And come back again with your next book, okay?
Thank you.
All right.
Very nice talking to you.
Nice talking to you too. All right. Have a nice
Bye,
day.
bye
Bye
now.
bye. All right, everyone. Hello, hello, hello. We had a wonderful guest. His name is John David Graham, and he is the author of Running as Fast as I Can. It can be found in on Apple, Amazon, Kindle, Goodreads, Barnes and Nobles, and so many other book platform distribution channels. So I wanted to say thank you to Mr. John David Graham for coming today. I wanted to say, all right, this I want to say it has been an honor and a privilege to come before you today on Authors Excerpt Sunday podcast. And if you are an author that would love to come and spend some time and tell the world about your book, please come and share your thoughts with us, your book with us, and the website is posted on the bottom of the screen. And on the website, you go scroll all the way down and you will see where it says Authors Excerpt Sunday Podcast. I also have an episode called Authors Excerpt Sunday Live, Authors Excerpt Sunday Clubhouse. You can also have a choice of coming on either one of those shows and telling the world about your book. So, my name is Sharice Johnson Moore, and I want to say thank you again for coming in to Authors Excerpt Sunday Podcast. And I'll see you next time. All right, babies. Love you. All right. Tell the world about your book.